Woohoo! Going live, episode 19. We are live.
Live, coming to the studios in LA.
Studio 2.
Studio 2.
Yeah, in LA.
In LA.
Downtown LA.
This is Testing Normal. Welcome back, everybody.
Ooh,
this is Curtis.
This is Jordan.
This is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything we want to.
Yeah.
And,
episode 19.
19, dude. That's crazy.
Dang, man. And I left my volume on again. I can't remember.
That's crazy, man.
Isn't it crazy?
So we got some pretty legit guests today, don't we, Jordan?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and introduce who we got, man.
Yeah, we have, my right. Yeah, it should be your guys' right. Smith Foxe.
Smith Foxe.
Joining us today. He had his schedule open on a Tuesday night. That's why we're here tonight. He was just apologizing for that, and I told him to shut up.
And Smith Foxe is a singer, artist, songwriter,
dancer, pole dancer,
exotic, and sometimes non-exotic, whichever.
Mostly non-exotic.
Mostly non-exotic.
Yeah.
Interpretive, I believe, is the most common type of dance, correct?
Instagram dancer.
Interpretive.
That's going to be a new thing.
The most accurate one, man.
Yeah,
you don't want to see me dance.
and then we have back with us Jeff Bennett, also known as The Earth on Fire, the guy who wrote the song that just played, and we're uber thankful for that.
Yes,
yeah.
We are. Dude, we're super stoked because we have the chance to, I believe, if this is correct,
the ground floor
music that they're going to be introducing to us today. That they have, they produced and sang, and is it a cover or is this a song you wrote yourself?
So this is a cover song of Soundgarden, of an old Soundgarden song called "Outshined." If you want to talk a little bit more about it, you were the one who introduced me to the song, actually.
Smith Foxe.
Yeah,
Smith Foxe, everybody.
Smith Foxe.
Smith Mother Fox.
So I'm sorry, I'm still kind of like a lingering cough. Anyway, so
I thought you were choked up because it's such a big moment.
I was choked up or choked out, something.
Yeah,
but no,
whatever you're into.
When
to each their own.
Whatever floats. Just. So yeah, when Jeff was talking about a project that he was doing where there were several, he wanted to do. Basically, it seemed like it was kind of a study in alternate time signatures, and a lot of EDM and future bass and dubstep doesn't really deal in. They don't really go much more progressive than like triple meters sometimes. Okay. And so,
what does that mean for those of us that don't know?
Like,
I mean, our viewers.
Instead of you're going like.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's
listen to that for a while.
Yeah, right. I used to be pretty good at beatboxing until like Rozelle came around. Then I started to really suck at beatboxing. Anyway, so and I was like, dude, I know so many songs that are like that because I'm a kind of a consumer aficionado and things that are of a progressive rock nature and whatnot. You know, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tool. I love like the Mars Volta and stuff like that.
Creed.
Nickelback
before Nickelback. And so I was like, I dropped him a whole bunch of songs, and he was like, well, I've never heard of any of those. But then he was like, well, how about songs that were popular? I'm like, okay, well that kind of narrows it a little bit. But one of the ones that I suggested to him was one that I used to play in a band. I used to sing for a local hard rock band called Shades Below Zero.
Nice.
And I'm actually...
I like that name.
I love that name, too.
It was before 50 Shades of Grey was a thing.
50 Shades Below.
It was about the same time. But nice. Actually, I think it started before 50 Shades of Grey. There we go. There it was.
It was Negative Shades.
Negative Shades. Well, and so we did several covers. We did a bunch of originals, but one of the covers that we did that was a fan favorite was Outshined by Soundgarden. And so I suggested that one because it was a little different, it wasn't just straight 4/4 all the time. So I was like, that one's a great one. And
I can do 4/4.
4/4 is great.
I lose it about 5/8.
About 5/8?
Yeah, I can't keep up with that.
I love 5/8.
I can't count to 5 that many times.
I could do 5/8. I could do 5/8 on the drums.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
So all of these, just so for the viewers out there, so maybe a little bit. He was beatboxing a little bit earlier, but in music you count the length of different notes, and that goes faster or slower with the tempo. And most songs that you'll hear on the radio, you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can count 1, 2,
There's
3,
4
4,
beats
1, 2,
per
3,
measure.
4. Yeah.
So the downbeat comes every 4 beats.
Exactly. So you can just count over and over and over again on 1, 2, 3, 4, and you won't lose your place in the song. And you'll find that words come in on certain of those beats and in between those beats. And then there's other songs that divide it by 8, and so you're then counting to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And it gives it different grooves, different feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this song is actually in. It has sections in 4/4, so it has sections that are standard meter, common time, but all of the verses and the lead lick and all that kind of stuff is in a time signature called 7/4. So you count
really?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it's much slower than the
so quarter
6/8.
notes, but 7
quarter notes.
7 quarter notes per measure.
Yeah,
that's weird. I never even knew 7/4 existed.
Yeah. It's and
Money was in 7/4.
Money by Pink Floyd is another one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you know that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sing it for me. I'm not sure I do.
Money. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a gas. Dun,
There you go.
Dun, dun, dun. You know that one.
Okay.
Oh, it has it has a really slow-ish but quick pace to it. Like it's kind of a mix.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's
I like it.
It's like mid-tempo. Most 7/4 songs are mid-tempo.
Yeah.
At least what I've
It's got
seen.
a lot of
Unless
a lot
it's a
going
jazz
on,
tune.
but a very slow downbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Most
like it.
and also most of the writers who have written in 7/4, what I find is they're just like, we're just writing something and it just ended up being in 7/4. So I feel like whenever
we're really bad at math.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of. I was just writing the lick, and we just started playing together and it worked. So yeah, that's
dope.
That's that.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, we do have. If you want to hand me that, we can show you the promo that was done with it's a software that Jeff you were using, right? That's a really short clip, isn't it?
So we have a couple clips. We have one that I threw up on my Instagram a little while ago. That was kind of.
It's the first promo one, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the first promo.
I'm gonna throw it up. We can still talk over it, but I kind of want people to see like what you work in because it's pretty.
Oh yeah, so that's So this first promo is a picture of my computer screen working in a program called Ableton Live, which is a music software.
Right. Yeah. Curtis, you need to watch this. This is.
I want to see this.
Look at that. Look at that.
So that's all of the layers and stuff that went into this song, and this is the beginning of the song, and you can see that I have my drums, my effects, my instruments, and then the vocals and all that kind of stuff. And those are just all of the stacks upon stacks of layers.
Stacks on stacks.
Stacks on stacks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah.
So that's what it takes to make a song, man.
That's a little touch of the song. I know people that are listening right now are gonna be like, I want to hear that song.
Yeah. Well, we have actually a couple more that we can play here in a minute as we keep talking. But
So
that just seemed like a good place to throw that.
We can come back to that.
for sure.
As he was talking about that.
We'll come back to
So. Yeah.
That was the soup part.
So, Smith Foxe, have you yourself recorded other songs, or do you have anything else out there right now?
Well, I there's been some stuff that I've been working on for a while. I don't really have anything committed to the I don't have anything on like SoundCloud or anything like that. I know I actually have very close ties to a couple bands right now, though. One called the South Beach Riot. I know the lead singer and everybody who's in that. And
you know the lead singer really well, don't you?
Yeah. And also,
I'm actually in that band, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, he's
right.
he was our started out as the keyboardist, and then now he's like their beat master because they don't have a drummer.
What? When did that happen?
Like a while ago.
Oh, okay.
They never, I guess the drummer never showed up. That's what I hear anyway. But
yeah. So the lead guitarist and lead singer of the group, Anthony Hicks, ended up making up all these beats, and so I kind of cue them up live, and I play some synth parts and all that kind of stuff. So,
Dope. Like
anyways.
beatbox synths
until they find an actual drummer.
Yeah.
I
heard
so,
Anthony can drum, but it's gonna be hard to be a lead singer.
Well, it's so funny because Anthony also just lined up a gig playing drums for another local band called Anime.
Anime?
Yeah, they're like
enemy with an A.
Is it like a Japanese band?
That's funny too. ANOMIE. There's like a French band, a French group called that too. So they like made it A.N.O.M.I.
They practice in my garage. It's
It's
kind of
nice.
So that
Yeah.
it's sort of like if I were to dissect that word, just looking in on it, I'd be like, this sounds like people that want to be friends, or they want to be the opposite of enemies. Enemy. Like,
Interesting.
Pretty good. Well, that's like Tool's album Anima. It's like the anima.
I don't know. It just sounds a little bit too close to enema.
Anima.
enemy.
Well, like
it's just somebody.
enemy.
Somebody just
Yeah.
pronounced
Yeah.
enema wrong.
maybe they paid a lot to make that album and didn't make a lot off of it, and they're like,
Yeah, maybe.
let's call it Enema because we really took it.
But okay, so going on the topic of music a little bit here. What is, have you guys thought about a little bit? I think we all at some point in our lives have kind of mold around this idea of what does the progression of music look like right now? Like, are we in a place where
Super
obviously
good question.
Thanks.
This is a deep and multi-level question.
Right. Let's get
Oh
good.
my
Let's get
gosh.
good here. So like
There's so many opinions on this. Very.
like, do you think
question.
that the concept of like dubstep was huge 3 years ago, 5 years ago, probably more like 5 years ago,
10 years ago?
10 years, 10 to 5 years
10
ago,
years
it was just booming.
Yeah.
For
And
way
now,
longer
like,
than
I
ska.
barely hear touches of dubstep right now. So, I'm curious, guys that are, you two in particular that are involved in the world of music more so than most of us. Do you guys have any, like, foresight and some thoughts about, like, dude, in 10 years, this is going to be boom in this type of style? Or is it something that you guys haven't really you're just in the moment more so?
I do a lot of music research and that kind of stuff, and the music world moves at a rapid pace, like breakneck pace right now, and it's because you can have, take us for example, we don't have access to a super professional studio. We have professional equipment, but not necessarily a studio that we're renting out for $200 an hour or whatever.
Right.
So now you can literally record vocals through your computer. Like, you don't even have to have a microphone. You can just record them into your computer and produce an entire album or entire song or whatever for the cost of the computer and minimal software. And so you can have
Even free software.
Yeah. So you have these 16-year-olds, these 15-year-olds,
Right.
who are
Billie Eilish.
Right. who are taking what they hear and replicating it, but that means that the market's going to move faster because they're going to become masters at their craft before they're even 20.
Right.
And so then it's just this breakneck speed of music that's coming out and changing. And I was reading an article today that was it was actually, I think it was just a Reddit post, but it was talking about the evolution or the progression of dubstep, which kind of turned into rhythm, is the new genre. But
Rhythm.
RIDDIM. Yeah.
What is
heard
that?
that.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well-
I don't actually know the background behind it. I just know what it sounds like.
I can tell you a little
Okay.
bit about the
Yeah.
background
Let's pull
behind
up
the
a rhythm
word.
song.
So
A
rhythm.
rhythm song?
Yeah,
Well,
that's for
we can't play anything that's like
You think they're really
Copyrighted?
yes.
You could find something copyright free.
Well, so the word.
You just took like a 3 minute search on that.
I can tell you that the word rhythm actually is Jamaican patois for rhythm.
No
And
kidding.
it normally
Wow.
during like in reggae music, which I'm a huge fan of, and I know a lot of other people close to me are a fan of it too. There's
Are they now?
yep.
Okay.
So they would refer to like reggae music or just the reggae rhythm as the reggae rhythm, and it's
Wow.
just like yeah. So
And
that's
that
so I
somehow-
think that like white people in electronic music just kind of like we'll take this for us. Does rhythm sound like reggae at all? I've never
not
heard it. I
really.
don't think.
It's more I would say that most people just call it dubstep, but it's definitely, it does oftentimes have
so it's
the
similar to that.
the offbeat that reggae has, but it's in a, I don't know. I'm not necessarily a expert in it. You
Yeah.
kind of need to hear it to
We
know
need to
what
hear
it
it.
sound here.
Jordan's gonna find us something.
I'm
but
trying to play
anyways,
something here.
so
We'll see how it works.
yeah, you keep going. Other genres that are like coming over. So electronic dance music is way more popular over the seas in. Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
I can't turn that down, folks.
Get to like the drop or the break, because that's kind of more what
That's the
quote unquote,
beginning, yeah.
Sorry, guys. You might need to turn your volume down for a second.
It's cool though.
That was a
If
nice
it's loud to
little
you-
like chill intro.
If it's loud to you, it is really loud to us.
All right, let's.
it's okay.
It's trying. You
I
can
play
talk in
I
a
play
different
drums
place.
really loudly with no
Yes.
ear protection, so
Mhm.
you can't hear it.
So.
I would say this is more classic dubstep.
It's called Fire Rhythm.
Yeah, this is dubstep.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
pretty hard. dubstep.
Let me find something. I'll look it up.
Jeff will shoot you a link.
Sweet. If
So
you find it, just text
what's
me.
interesting as far as like music progression and different styles and how over time it's changing. I think it's really interesting to see how society has a really difficult time with some of those changes.
Mm-hmm.
And for example,
It's always like the next thing is the devil's music.
the next thing's the devil music, but not
Yeah.
only that, but it's like the appropriation. People feel
Which was
offended
true
by
when ska was around.
appropriation. Ska.
Like that was the one time I think I agreed.
Yeah.
When ska was devil's music.
Well, for 2 weeks when it was around.
Yeah, but like it's interesting how society has a really hard time with the change in music. But like if there's a standard of music that then gets it's appropriated by another style of music, such as when country music plays rap or when rap music plays country,
It's called crap.
it could be called crap.
It's country rap.
But
Crap.
it's interesting. People get really offended by this. This is like this most recent song that came out.
The Old Country Road
Old
song
Country
or whatever.
Road, yeah, Country Road song.
I really like it, though.
This rapper had a song, and it's really like it's a fun song.
Yeah.
Is it because he wanted to be on country channels or something?
Well, he had this song, and it had like kind of a country vibe to it,
Yeah.
and he could not get it played on country music channels. So what he had to do is he had to get
It was Billy Ray Cyrus?
Billy Ray Cyrus
Yes.
to sing
Nice.
like 3 sentences in this song
Oh,
in order
yeah.
to be able to get him to be able to play on country music. And people were flipping out because he was advertising for Levi jeans. And they're like, this is a rap song. He shouldn't
my
be advertising
gosh.
for Levi jeans. This is a travesty to country music. And it's like, oh my God, it's music. Like
Did you find
this
one?
guy should be able to play whatever type of song he wants. Like
sent it
it's
to me?
This guy's
insane.
bringing like two
text it to me?
corners
Yeah.
of music together. Why
Right.
is that such a like?
Right.
And anyway, I've been saying this for a while. It seems to me that country and rap, country and hip hop are probably the two most American kinds of music that there are.
That's a great point.
And not only that, I've
That's
actually
a great point.
I've actually heard one of my favorite singer-songwriters. Name is Derek Webb, and he said this once, and I'm like, oh, I could totally see that. He was like, he was like kind of the
there it
lead
is.
in to one of his albums, which was a little more electronic in nature and used kind of hip hoppy beats. His Stockholm Syndrome album. He was talking in the lead up to it. He was kind of talking about music and hip hop and how
If you
hip
get
hop
interrupted by
influenced.
Well, here we go.
Sorry, guys.
And he was all like,
This is rhythm. This is rhythm.
oh,
guys.
here we go.
It's a little bit still dubsteppy, but it's
To be my story to be continued.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Oh man, I like this. I like the Terminator up there.
this is a 30-minute mix.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
This should be. You should turn this down and let it be the soundtrack to the thing to the podcast.
I
Wow.
can't turn it down independently because I
Oh.
don't have a sound
That's
guy.
intense. That's intense. I like that. It seems
do
like
like
it
that.
has a little bit less of the build up to a drop and a little bit more of the subtle underbeat.
So it will
Was
build
it?
up into a drop, and then
Okay.
it's more like
It's also a 30-minute song, so
Yeah.
the drop could be 20 minutes later.
well, I think it's a mix. I think that's actually
Oh,
like
okay,
multiple
okay,
songs.
I
So who
gotcha.
knows where
Okay, yeah.
all those kind of things are. But you guys, I'm sure we can get that link out there if
Oh,
anybody's
yeah.
really
Well, I'll post
interested.
it. Yeah.
And guys,
Yeah.
the song that I was mentioning earlier is by Lil Nas, and it's called Old Town Road.
We'll put a link for that.
Old Town Road.
I got
that's right.
horses in the back.
Horse
It's
stock
a-
is attached.
It's a really good song. You guys should listen to it.
I actually saw a little bit of a live performance of him doing that, and like he was in this like super caricatured like cowboy outfit, like
With tassels and
with
everything.
tassels and everything like that. I was like, wow, okay,
hilarious.
okay. If he's doing that, I can kind of see where country folks might okay, he's making caricature of us, man. But I mean, like, you know,
But it's true.
But I mean, it's not it's not really
He's
that
taking it to the
different from
extreme.
white folks making caricature of like hip hop.
Gangster.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
and thinking that represents all hip hop. I mean,
I
That's
think
true.
That
you're
ain't
starting to
cool.
nail it on the head, though. The current political climate of the United States.
Yes.
And you have a song that is essentially trying to bridge the gap.
Transcendent.
It's trying to say, hey, this group of people and this group of people can get along and they can produce music together.
Yeah.
And I think that has it's poking at a funny bone for a lot of people.
I mean, let's think about the kind of the insanity of the rap artists being interested in the country scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's polar opposites if you want to like look at it. It's interesting.
Urban versus rural.
He's trying to enter that. Well, I don't know if you could make that argument anymore with country music.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Country music's not super rural anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. You get some is it like Chris Stapleton, you know, has like that classic rural
It
vibe
has a
to
classic
it.
to it, but I mean, they're not living in the country.
Yeah.
Maybe they think
Maybe
they are.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where the people live, but yeah.
Yeah, I
It
don't
seems
know.
like most people to succeed, you're in Tennessee, which is basically like LA now.
Right, exactly.
Right,
That's
yeah.
what I was saying.
Nashville
it's like
is
Nashville.
LA of
Yeah, that's what I
country
meant.
music.
Not whole
Yeah.
Tennessee. Sorry. Yeah, Nashville was
Yeah.
overall.
Because like a lot of current country is more like classic rock than anything.
There was
Yeah,
a song.
yeah.
Well, I was talking with a buddy of mine, and I feel like country is America's K-pop. It's like so.
It's the
Interesting.
Northwest K-pop.
Well,
The
so,
Northwest.
so K-pop is a genre that is originated in Korea, but it really is kind of an amalgam of all of these different pop genres and electronic genres.
You're
And so
right.
you can have these songs that are a pop song that has dubstep in it or future bass or can have just straight pop elements or you can have rap in it. It's just like
Yeah.
all of these different genres, and I feel like in many cases country in America does that as well, because even before Old Town Road there's another song. It was an earworm and I don't remember it right now, but I just remember looking over at my wife and I'm like, this is a trap song. Like, nobody's gonna say it, but this is a trap song. There's the 808, there's the hi-hats, there's all of this stuff that makes it outside of the country genre.
And
I
what,
know what
okay,
song you're talking about. I don't remember which one that is.
what
but I've
exactly
heard that
is
before.
for people? What is the 808?
So 808 is a kick drum. There's a
Wow.
yes in
The
Guys are having an
808 is
argument on the
referring-
couch over here.
The 808 is referring to the classic drum machine that made iconic sounds that originally were used for electronic music, but
Yes.
was appropriated by really West Coast, like Oakland, Bay Area rap that have become popular in a lot of electronic music since then. If you listen to some Too Short, then you will hear the classic 808 sound. But what you're talking about is the 808, the TR-808's bass kick drum sound.
So over time, they took this old instrument that you'd make your drum rhythms on, and they isolated the kick drum low. There's like a low frequency kick drum, and they isolated the super low frequencies of that. And so when you have somebody who drives their car by and it's going,
Well, that sounds more like the car's revving up.
well, yes,
Yes.
but that whole idea.
Yeah.
That's what the 808 is, and so
Gotcha.
that can be tuned to different notes and frequencies and all that kind of stuff. But
Gotcha.
that's the idea.
Gotcha. So if anybody's out there and they're like, it's late at night and they're not sleeping and they hear this stupid sound
Yeah.
from their neighbors 3 doors down in their car, or they hear the boom, boom.
And it has that long tail to it too. It's not just like pop, pop, pop like
Right.
like
How many of you guys, when you hear Three Doors Down, just kryptonite goes in your head?
yeah, me too.
Or Superman. Yeah.
that's actually it.
Or Superman.
That's the same song.
Right.
That's not the one that I always think of when I think of Three Doors Down. I always think of
Were they the ones that did the Sun one, or there's something?
I always think of the song that's
I think that's the same song. that
so
you're
hold me
thinking of.
when I'm here, love me when I'm gone.
Yep.
That one,
That one's
or
good.
It's a good one.
that one with the video where the guy's doing parkour and he's like at the end of the video he's like trying to say he ends up saving this woman and her child from going out into traffic and being hit by a bus. It was a really good video, and the
With
song was like
parkour?
It's not because he was running like he just had
couldn't
this.
have saved
It was this
without
guy
doing parkour.
Right, exactly. That was part of the action, the adrenaline of the video. But that was what made it interesting to watch. But it was this guy who just had this feeling from across town, and he started running, doing parkour over all these buildings.
Parkour.
And then
That's the first rule of parkour, guys. You have to yell parkour when you do it.
And then he by the end of the video, he saves the woman and her child from being hit by a bus. But the song is like, "It's not my time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going." I don't really care for Three
Yeah.
Doors Down, but they got a couple of good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than Nickelback.
Take it
Yeah.
back. Take
Yeah.
it back.
I want
Way
my
better.
nickel back.
Way better than Nickelback.
Take it back.
Take that nickel
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, what was I talking about before we started listening to rhythm? Oh yeah, that's right. So hip hop and country. So I was talking about how hip hop and country were like the really the most American kinds of music. The singer-songwriter was making this statement once that he believes that hip-hop is really today's most folk kind of music that there is, because of the fact that folk music has always talked about real stuff. And I was like, dude, I see that. I can see that. You don't think of hip-hop when you think of folk, but that's talking about real,
Like
real
that.
stuff.
Yeah, I had a literal description. Like folk became like a genre description,
Right.
but like it was named that for that reason.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
folk music, and so hip hop is a really great description, a really great example of American folk music. It just doesn't sound like what you'd think of when you think of folk. The country is modern folk music too. So in that same way, folk, you got the split, and then you got like this weird cultural split, but it's all based on just it's just folk doing what folk do.
Is that kind of what music is, though?
It really
is
is
an outlet for people to like experience, like re-experience, or like, or even like it's almost therapeutic. Like I was listening to a kid that has an Instagram, and you can tell he's up and coming, or not up and coming, but he just is doing it for feelings.
It's down and going.
And it's and it was cool. It was cool to see like that, like you were saying, like people can just, with a little software and all that kind of stuff, they can express their feelings. And whether or not he goes anywhere with that, it's still like you can tell it's helpful for him, and maybe it's helpful for some of the people that know him to like as an outlet, almost like using it like a thought journal or something that he's allowing other people to kind of experience these tiny snippets of thoughts that he's going through, which is kind of cool.
Music is cool because it can be super mathematical, but it can also just be evocative of emotion. You can have people who know the individual frequencies of a note in the hertz, or how it moves through the air. They know the mathematical equation behind that, and they'll program their entire song so that it reflects that. But then you also have people like there's a guy named Flume, and I was watching an interview by him, and he's one of the bigger
Swedish.
He's Australian. His
Super close.
Yes.
So close.
He's one of the bigger artists out of Australia, and he was
Next
watching.
to Hillsong.
Yeah, next to Hillsong. He was watching somebody
Keith Urban.
play on keys in this interview, and essentially was like, oh man, I wish I could just do that. And yet this guy has made millions of dollars off of music, and he is not necessarily as proficient on the piano as another guy. So you can have all these sorts of, basically anybody who wants to make music can make music. That doesn't mean it's going to sound good, but everybody
It's
can
also
make
just
music,
chance of getting recognized, and
Yeah,
that kind of
absolutely.
like it's almost like how we see viral videos go now. That's happened forever. Like I was listening to someone talk about Michael Jackson, like how like that was so new, and he was the only person that had that kind of fame at that time. Like no one else was doing it.
Yeah.
And he didn't have anyone to go before him for that kind of fame to know how to handle it.
Yeah.
You know, take it or leave it. Like it looks like he did some bad things. I don't know him or whatever, and he's dead now. So, but it's like that's just it's a weird phenomenon if you sit and think about it for a second, like where it can go. And then there's people who, like you said, like a lot more talent, and yet never get recognized, and maybe they still have the outlet, and maybe they still are like accomplishing what they want to accomplish. It doesn't mean that they're less of a person or anything. It's just it's silly to me sometimes, the people that actually do become famous and make a good living at it.
Well, and I
and
feel
then those
like
that don't.
in the current music culture, it's kind of there's been a shift in the last 10 years in music culture, because no longer are you really seeing people push out albums. It's all about the single.
Yeah.
And nobody really
Right.
You
It's
don't
to get your foot in the door with the single.
Whereas
Yeah.
before it was the single
you
that sold
got-
the album.
And you got a
Yeah.
year or so at
Yeah,
least before you
exactly.
become,
Yeah.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
So.
So
Yeah.
you can pump out singles, pump out more and more singles, and I mean there's to get your music on all of the streaming platforms. It costs like it costs nothing. There's literally services that'll do it for free, and then there's services that'll do it for like a $20 a year subscription, or and you go up from there. But it's dirt cheap to get it on all these platforms, and then any musician who has their music on those platforms is owed royalties.
Right.
And so then you can have somebody who's again producing in their bedroom, who is pushing out singles even once a month, or once every 6 months, and is making money putting out singles.
Yeah.
Even though it might not be the Michael Jackson type of money,
No.
it might be the.
I don't know that anyone's going to touch that.
Yeah, it's true.
Anymore.
It might be the
There's too many people.
There are too many people making music.
Yeah.
But to make $20,000 or $30,000 a year, so like a minimum wage type of income doing what you love,
Yeah.
is very approachable for a lot of people, which is
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Which is fascinating that the culture, the business side of it's switched to that.
How do you think that it will, like, we're seeing some of the effects of it now? Like, the streaming culture has definitely affected. So some of the bigger people, they can't be making a ton of money off people streaming. It's gone back to pushing people to do big shows that are popular and can bring in the numbers and everything, which I think is good, because I think we went away from that as a culture.
Yeah.
But where do you see it like going in the future from here? Like, there's just going to
See,
be
wait, what? See what?
see the music culture go,
Yeah.
not sound wise like we've been talking about, but as far as business wise, like it's got to affect things. It's got to be changing things. It's kind of like the YouTube culture. Like, that's got to have taken a hit. Like, the TV industry has got to have taken a hit from that, because there's like my kids we don't have TV at home, but they definitely watch their fair share of YouTube.
And you guys probably binge watch stuff on Netflix and Hulu and whatnot. And
not as much as that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's what we're watching. It's what we're watching is not decreased in time. It's just changed where people
But
are
also, I
watching
think it
at.
depends on the stages of like your kids and stuff like that. So like with me having younger kids, they're not really ready for just straight YouTube videos, because it's just mindless stuff for them at this age. Whereas like
Right.
Netflix is like longer episodes where there's more educational kind of
Well, that's
things.
more for you. Let's be real. But
Yeah. But no, I mean, but so is YouTube for you, and for your kids.
true.
So I mean, everyone's a little different, but I do agree. Like, obviously, streaming.
But that's
is
it's in the middle of changing. But I guess like that would be my question. Like, where do you think that's going to take the music industry for you guys as doing it? Like, right now, it's not your main income.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you guys have talent, but definitely that industry is still changing right now. It'll be interesting to see where it goes in the next 10 years.
When you look at the richest people in entertainment right now, I wonder if music is any of their main income.
That's true.
Like look, one of the most interesting examples to me of late is Jay-Z, for instance. I mean, he just hit $1 billion not too long ago. He's a billionaire now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the first hip hop star to become a billionaire.
Is he the one that's on Tidal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's one of the ones that do Tidal.
Yeah. That's a streaming service for those of you who
Right.
don't know.
And if
Yeah.
you have access to it,
Tidal.
stream our songs on Tidal, because we get a lot more money from
Oh,
Tidal.
really?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah,
Oh.
Tidal pays the artists more than
Substantially.
the other ones.
Okay, that's good to know. I don't have a Tidal subscription, sorry.
iTunes is probably the best for most people out there. If you have iTunes and Spotify, the artist will get paid more if you stream on iTunes.
Yeah. Isn't Spotify one of the lower?
You mean
Paying ones.
Tidal?
Most people don't have a Tidal. Let's be honest.
Oh, I see.
He's
But-
saying of Spotify and iTunes.
Oh, okay,
iTunes
yeah.
I'm
pays
pretty.
more.
I think it's Google Play pays more than iTunes, and then it's iTunes.
No, but
And then-
you're talking about just Apple Music then.
Apple.
Yeah,
Music.
yeah.
And
Yeah, they got
then-
rid of iTunes yesterday.
Yeah, they're getting rid of iTunes.
Just
They're
so
going
you
to
guys
split
know.
it up.
Yeah.
I saw
Bye
that.
bye.
Peace out. They started
Bye,
removing all
Felicia.
their links and
Bye.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then under that is Spotify. The one that pays the artist the least amount is YouTube. So
Makes sense.
YouTube pays it. Well, they pay about the same that they pay their normal videos, and
Right.
that's not a lot.
No.
So
Well, I mean, it's not. It used to be more of a music video platform, but now it's like people aren't going to sit there
yeah,
and
exactly.
probably watch it as much, and they might some, but
I like to watch concert videos on there. That's fun.
yeah, because it's something you can't be at. But if it's a music video, like
You can even watch live sometimes too.
I watched Childish Gambino videos on YouTube the other day. Really interesting.
Wait, why does that sound familiar? How do I
Childish
know that?
Gambino.
Yeah,
That's Donald Glover's.
yeah,
hip-hop
yeah, yeah.
alter ego,
I was really hoping to end
Amazing.
with Trump. And
Oh
it
my
was like
gosh.
something different that I hadn't heard that he's doing. It's like he's on Twitter and YouTube.
Childish Gambino wrote the song "This Is America."
Dude. Yeah,
Let me see.
I cannot believe
Love that song.
how involved Childish Gambino is.
Well,
or Donald Glover.
He
Yeah.
is
Like he is
yeah.
all over the place right now.
Well, he just came out with a Amazon original.
He is.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, called Guava Island or something.
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Well, because did you watch his TV show on HBO? He had a what was it called?
Are you talking about Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Because
Was
that
it
one's
on HBO?
No, that's on. That's a Hulu. No,
No.
Netflix or Hulu original.
No.
That's a Prime original. That's Prime.
No,
it's
no,
it's a
no,
streaming
no.
service original.
Is it?
No,
Okay.
no. It's
No,
an
it's not.
FX. It's FX. That's right. It's FX.
Really?
Because it's
Yeah.
on Hulu.
So we actually do have a teaser of your guys's, not the Instagram spot. That was just like
FX.
the teaser of the song.
Yeah, it's on FX.
But we do have a teaser
Hey!
of your music video.
Yeah, so that's gonna
So-
go.
Oh, we got a
up.
music video.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
I've been working on it.
Oh my gosh, we got a music
Have
video.
you seen it yet?
I probably
No,
look
he
like
has-
shit on there.
He has not seen it yet. This
watch
You
it.
haven't seen it? This is
No.
live.
Let's
You
watch
see-
it.
This comes out.
Guys, it's
on,
going to be loud again, so get ready to turn
the
on your
music video
speakers.
comes out on Friday on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm about to find out someone's my dad who I'm not expecting on Springer.
It's your dad.
Yeah. Here,
Who's your daddy?
Curtis, you talk for a second.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so Donald Glover is he he was originally on Community.
Yes.
And
where was he before that?
I know where he was before that.
Where was
Okay,
he before
Donald
that?
Glover before Community.
I'm pretty sure-
probably some Disney show. I don't know.
No.
Nope.
He
What
was
was it?
a
Nope.
writer for SNL.
No.
30 Rock actually.
30 Rock.
What? He was
And-
on 30 Rock?
And before that, he actually had some cameos in 30 Rock. But Tina Fey and David Miner saw his work. He wrote a spec script for The Simpsons at one point,
No
and
kidding.
he submitted a bunch of his other work. And Tina Fey and David Miner were like, "We want you to write for 30 Rock," and so he was one of the writers for 30 Rock, and he had a few cameos in there, which was fun. So there was this one scene where, do you remember that? Do you guys ever watch 30 Rock?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
watched
so-
a little bit of it.
So you
I've
remember
watched all of
do you
it.
remember the episode where Tracy Jordan goes to speak to the graduates at Frank Lucas High School,
Very vaguely. It's been a while.
and he's
since I
like,
watched it.
and what about
Well, I've
you?
seen it all, but it's now I'm thinking about it. It's been quite a few years.
He's like,
I love Tracy Jordan on there though.
he's like, what? He's like, what about you, gay kid, or whatever? And it's Donald Glover, and he's like, who told?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, so no, he was on a web comedy troupe called Derek Comedy before that.
No kidding.
Yes, go check out some of their stuff. He did some fun work on there. There was this one called The Progression of the Mad Hatter, where he decided his character went to work as making hats at the hat factory the old-fashioned way, using mercury.
Yes,
So-
that's what made him go mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch
So-
S Town, you'll figure out why.
Oh my gosh.
Or listen
guys.
to S Town.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it goes
check
bananas.
that out.
Yeah, Donald
The-
Glover though, his reach as far
Oh,
as
it's
where
nuts.
he's been involved in, from Community to writing to being in Star Wars
Yep.
to
No. Yes.
He was in Spider-Man. He
was the voice.
No, I believe he was the
Venom.
Miles something in the most recent.
Morales?
I'm not thinking.
The
I
animated
believe-
one?
No, in
Home. or
Not
the-
Far From Home. What was the
Far
one
From-
before that?
The
Maybe I
they-
didn't see that one.
Into the Spider-Verse.
No, the one before that with what's his?
Homecoming.
Yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming. He's in
Oh, I
Spider-Man
didn't watch that.
Homecoming,
I didn't
yeah.
watch that.
I'm like just name. I'm just gonna start.
Let's go back.
Tobey Maguire.
Other one.
Tobey Maguire. Wait, is Donald Glover's the one that did that weird dance on the Spider-Man movie, right?
Probably. He does a
Probably.
weird.
No,
So
I'm kidding.
what I love.
okay, so you guys want to hear this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we-
All right,
before
all
we
right,
go
so
too far, sorry.
let's describe what is this that we're listening to right now.
So
we're,
this
we're
is
gonna see it.
Awesome.
But I
That's
want
what it
audience
is.
to know what it is.
So this is the breakdown of, or this is the drop section of Outshined. This is the music video. It comes out on Friday.
This Friday?
From the
This
album
Friday.
The Earth on
So
Fire.
this-
It does?
Well, no, this is not this. This is a single. So this is a cover
okay.
single, and it comes out on the 7th.
How
Yeah.
come you never told me any of this?
I did tell you
I'm
that.
kidding.
And this
I'm
is
kidding.
Jeff's song and Smith Foxe
Foxe
singing.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes.
All right.
Here we go, guys.
Trying to
Excited.
sing. More like gargling.
Super excited.
Oh, that's what I. Oh my gosh.
This is so cool.
So
Ooh,
Oh my
so
gosh. I
Jeff
look
is
like
also a
my,
video editor, guys.
this looks so good.
I look like my best friend right there. That's too funny. This is so glitchy. I look like Max Headroom sort of too. Evil.
I know.
I
love
like it.
This is fucking vicious.
I'm.
I like right there. It was like you were almost doing the floss. like super close.
Is that a horse?
No, that's you. It's
That's
just you
me?
distorted.
That's you. You're just
Yeah.
really.
I
really
love it,
messed
man.
up.
You did a great job on that.
I want
man.
more
I
of
like
that.
it.
I want more of that.
That's all that's done.
You
Well,
want
alright.
to
I made
see
sure
more
I
of my
had that
dancing?
part
That's what
done.
that is. You want to
So-
see more of my dancing?
Actually, a little bit of background. Do you remember that when we got done with episode like 12 or 11
Yeah.
or something like that, and Jeff had texted us and he said,
Yeah.
"Hey, there's a song here," and he for some reason he trusts me.
I trust you
like,
to give me an honest
to give
opinion.
him, well, he knows I'll give him an honest opinion always. So I guess that's actually a pretty
Yeah. That's
legitimate
important.
trust right there. So, but he sent it right after we had finished, and so Curtis and I, we had everything all still set up, and I was like, dude, let's just listen to this and sit back down in the chairs and just relax for a second. So we listened to the entire first. It was like one of the first cuts of the song, wasn't it? Of
Yeah.
Outshine?
There's a couple things. We actually re-recorded some vocal pieces.
Right. Well,
and
but
some
we
other
had
stuff.
we had said that like
Yeah.
I knew that it was Smith singing in that, but Curtis had no
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
previous
I had no
relationship
idea.
with him at
Smith
all,
Foxe.
and so he had actually some like good constructive criticism on some of those parts, and then and we gave back like we actually gave you quite a bit of
Yeah,
feedback on
it was
that.
nice. It was
And,
very helpful.
And I was like, oh, I hope he doesn't like pissed about this, but
we're artists. We got to be able to take criticism.
yeah. So we were honest, and we're like, it was kind of cool to be part of that
Yeah, it was
process,
super
and
cool.
to like see it like kind of come pretty close to fruition.
Yeah.
Well, it's already out on,
Yeah, the
on
song is
audio,
out.
so like seeing it at that is pretty cool for us too to have been
Yeah.
involved in that, and you know,
Yeah.
anytime you want us to give you an honest opinion.
I love it.
But guys, go check it out. It's going to be on.
It is on Spotify.
It's on Spotify
It's
right
on
now.
iTunes, anywhere you stream music, it's there.
Is
the
it
name of
on
the song.
title?
It is on title.
Oh,
And the
Okay,
name of the
good.
song is
it on
It's called Outshined. and-
Outshined.
Yes, The Earth on Fire is the artist.
Earth on
and it's,
Fire.
featuring Smith Foxe.
Yeah.
Super excited about
So
that.
I hope Jay-Z hears it because he's one of the people who owns and operates Tidal. Doesn't operate it, just owns it. That's
just
one of
owns
his many income streams. That's one of the reasons why he's a billionaire.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, like, I'm actually surprised that titles lasted this long.
It just was launched last year.
No,
think. It was
it
2
was
years
way
ago,
more
right?
than last year. It had to be at least 3 years.
Really?
I think
It's
so.
an interesting platform because they definitely charge more, but then the artist makes it's like a cent a stream, which is a big deal. Like
Yeah,
to
no,
make
no, that's
1
a
cent
lot.
per stream.
No. Yeah.
The average if you hit 1 million streams on Spotify, that's about take home of $4,500 to $5,000 for the artist.
Is that like every month you get that, or is it like
every 1 million streams? So
Okay.
so it's broken down into Spotify is unique. They break it down into a pool and then they divvy out the pool, but it's 0.004 essentially per stream.
They do it like a tip share.
Yeah, it's exactly
kinda.
yeah. So that's what your favorite artist makes. That's why they push merch, and like we were kind of talking about, they push their live shows. I think it was either Ariana Grande or Beyonce who just made. It was either like $700,000 or $1 million for a performance at Coachella.
what?
Yeah, so that's they make that money by performing live.
Yeah.
But
That was
then
probably
also
Ariana.
pushing their merch and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
I've never
that's
seen her with her eyes open.
Ariana.
That's like
Maybe she
Yeah.
maybe she grew up as a worship leader at a church and she never played or sang with her eyes open. 'cause
Maybe.
she's always
That's
like-
hilarious.
So good.
Isn't that what
that was her?
Katy
that was,
Perry did?
That was it. Yeah, Katy Perry. Hey, you ever hear Katy Perry when she was still doing Christian music?
Uh-uh.
Like, she wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I saw a video once of her when she was still doing like Christian music, and I was like, it reminded me a little bit of old Caedmon's Call because it had a little bit of little world music tinge in it, and I'm like, you know, this isn't bad, you know.
I really like
I mean,
Katy
I like her
Perry.
better now musically, but
Just throw that out there.
what's that?
I already said it. You missed
You
it.
don't, you don't like Katy Perry?
Nope, it was quite the opposite.
Yeah, no, he likes her.
Oh, you do like
It's
Katy
kind of
Perry.
a
I like
guilty
Katy
pleasure.
Perry.
She wasn't the one that was in the Super Bowl riding
She's
the horse,
firework.
was she?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Or no.
I just bought the song.
Shit, now I forgot.
Excited to listen to it.
Ooh,
the whole way,
thank
baby.
you.
Look at that.
Just got it. So if I played this on our podcast, would it get taken down?
It's interesting because so yes and
Maybe.
no. I didn't register it. However, it's a cover song, so
Yeah.
it's up to the YouTube algorithm and all that kind of stuff, and they take down covered songs all the time.
So does YouTube somehow access all of these platforms that carry music and then say, hey, let us listen to all your music. Let's have access to all your music so that way we can prevent them from being played on YouTube?
So there's some of that. So on the back end as an artist, you have the ability to have your provider flag it. And so
Okay.
then the provider, your music, not provider, distributor,
Yeah.
will then get you the money that's owed to you from YouTube. You don't always have to do that, and some of the bigger companies, the bigger music companies, will actually hire people who will go out and flag cover songs and whatnot.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and the YouTube copyright system right now is kind of broken because you're
There's
even
a lot
seeing
of drama going on with YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's putting it very
Yeah.
mildly.
you're seeing people who have written a cover of a song or even written lyrics, and somebody else has written the same lyrics, maybe never seen each other, never known each other, but then because their content was on the platform first, they can copyright strike somebody else.
Now, is it that they
So messed up.
they
messed
themselves
up.
automatically choose? They get to choose whether or not to do the copyright strike, or is it that YouTube automatically does it for them?
Kind of a little both.
I was going to say kind of a little both. There are people who are maliciously going out and not maliciously, but going out and flagging content that is either theirs or could be perceived as theirs.
Right.
Kind of obnoxiously.
Yes, and it's a weird world to kind of have one foot in one and one foot in the other, because as an artist, I realize that I'm owed money every time my song is streamed, even if that's
Right.
half a cent. But at the same time, as a video producer, it's kind of obnoxious whenever you get flagged for something that, I did a cover song a while back at a live venue, and I recorded the whole thing, and it's an old cover song. I think it was written in the 1800s.
Whoa.
Gosh.
So it's
So a hymnal.
yeah, it was a hymn, and so not under any copyright, but it got flagged for copyright because somebody
What?
5 years ago did their own cover of the song and registered it.
So did they themselves
Yes.
flag it?
Yes.
Oh.
And so it's kind of like this. It's this weird thing where it's like, the music's not gonna make me any money, and I'm not
So
really worried about it.
if
or
your
any of that
song
kind of
gets
stuff.
flagged,
Yeah.
then is it on them to prove that you're encroaching on copyright, or is it for you to prove?
It is for me, and so the process is you go and you say you flag it as hey, this is you wrongfully copyrighted this, and then the person can say yes I did or no I didn't,
Okay.
and that's the process. And then if it doesn't get resolved at that point, YouTube is like, all right, you guys have to just go settle it outside of YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
And so then it would be upon you, the person, to sue the other person and work through that whole thing. Yeah,
That's
and it's
crazy.
so then start thinking as a video producer. Imagine you're a video producer. You've just produced a song or produced a video, and you have a song in that video. The song is maybe even legitimately half the video because you're
Right.
putting a
Yeah.
song under a video. That means that the artist should only get half of the revenue for your song, right?
Right.
Legally, that would be kind of
Makes
how.
sense.
Yeah. It obviously wasn't contracted or any of those kind of things, but that's maybe how it would work. Now, what if you just use the dun 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 dun? What if you just use that
Right,
in
and not the
hour long?
dun.
Yeah, you don't even finish it. So now that's less than 1%. I guarantee you, somebody at Disney could, if they cared enough, could flag this video because I did that. I didn't even finish the whole.
Wow,
the whole
this
lyric.
entire thing that we've
thanks,
done.
Jeff.
thus
Thanks
far.
a lot.
You're so welcome.
Wow,
Golly, man.
It's,
So,
yeah, it's
Do you
fascinating.
think a little bit before you start humming stuff?
that's
Nope.
really a crazy.
I refuse.
So it's you're right though. I mean, somebody literally could go through and maliciously just tag random videos, even if they themselves haven't produced anything, and say, "Hey, that's copyright," and then YouTube says, "Okay, we're gonna take it off, and you guys have to figure it out."
Yep.
So like, I could literally go through a ton of YouTube videos and just copyright, and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like it's guilty until proven innocent, if
Yeah.
ever proven innocent.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know how it works
Yeah,
if the
YouTube's weird
song
like that.
already has a copyright strike or already has a copyright claim on it. I don't know how that works. So like if
What
Warner,
does?
so
Okay.
if Warner Music went out and claimed their song,
Oh.
or like so this is a cover of a Soundgarden song. So Soundgarden or whoever, I don't remember who they're.
Soundgarden has the copyright for that song.
Yeah, so they have the copyright for the
original song.
the original lyrics and the composition of the original song. So they have the copyrights for that. They will copyright strike my video when it goes up because it has all of their lyrics. It is their song, and that's just something that me as a producer just accepts because I want to do the cover of the song.
But how do you avoid your song from getting taken down? Then?
So you have to go through a legal process where you at the beginning you actually I think it was even before we recorded the vocals. I wrote, and I guess I don't remember who it was, but I wrote the person who owns the copyright to the song, and asked for permission to do it. So I have a written thing that came back that said, yeah, you have permission to do the song. So then the song is broken down into multiple types of royalties, even within a cover song. So we don't own the rights to the song itself, but we do own what are called mastering rights, and so that's the part of the song that we own, and it's just a small part.
What percentage?
So like
is that?
say if they charge,
it's not a lot. I don't remember.
if iTunes charges $1 for that song, then the band or whoever owns the copyright to that song gets a percentage of that profit as well, and then iTunes gets a percentage of that profit,
and then we get,
and then you get
a part of the leftovers.
As well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're sharing a large portion of that proceeds with multiple entities.
Well, for a cover song specifically. So I also have original songs up on iTunes. If somebody
like our intro and outro,
yeah, exactly,
Right.
which
So-
is the same song. If you guys hadn't picked up on that,
yeah.
yet.
So yeah, if you guys want to check that full song is called Eurybia. It's on
that's
iTunes.
how you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
I
never.
thought it was
never how
Eurybia.
I believe it's Eurybia. I could be wrong. It's one of the moons of Saturn. That's the whole thing.
That's even cooler.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I have a CD, a full feature-length album coming out in September, and I'm doing all of the moons of Saturn. And so a lot of my singles that have been coming out have been
so cool.
the moons of Saturn and other things that are so.
You
there's
should
also-
come back and we'll do a space theme.
I would love it.
I like that.
I would love it. So, anyways, that's the whole
Tickle
thing.
my
so.
fancy.
I want to.
I wish that we had on
That's-
recording.
That's good.
You're like glanced towards me with that idea. It was like, ooh.
I want to be on that, but I just want to be like spacing out the whole time.
You could just sit in the corner over there.
I'll have my shades on. It'll be like Weekend at Bernie's. I'll
You
be burning.
could be a little deep in the whiskey and
I imagine it. What's that meme where the guy's just going like this?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man, I was gonna custom make you. Sorry, I was gonna custom make you a meme earlier, and I forgot what it was, but it was so good.
I already like it.
I know.
I still like it, even
'Cause
though
it's
it doesn't
custom.
exist.
I like so many things that don't exist.
And when I got it, I would go.
I think we were
like,
talking about
meme review.
we were talking about an old a person that we knew, and it just said, or it was the aliens thing. It was like aliens, but it said something else. Oh well, there you go.
Oh man,
Memes are fun.
I like memes.
I love memes.
Memes are so dank.
That's true.
The dankest.
Hashtag dank.
Have you guys played
memes.
that game? What do you meme?
I own it.
That's
No,
right. You do. Oh, and I haven't played with you. I played with Amador. That's who Amador came on the show a little bit ago. He's a fun guy. We played
He's
we
blast.
played
It's a fun guy.
we played What Do You Meme? at like a public venue, like
Oh, that's so good.
like at a nice restaurant, like on the patio, and they were like, "What's this?" And we're like,
it's the best game ever.
"It's a game."
Well, what do you mean?
It's
What
a
is
me.
this?
Please don't read my card.
Don't they have a Rick and Morty expansion for that? I'm pretty sure there's a Rick. I don't. It's either that or Cards Against Humanity. No, it's got to be What Do You Meme.
Oh
It's got to
man,
be What Do You Meme.
Cards Against Humanity doesn't have
they
pictures.
do have Cards Against Humanity in Alt VR.
Oh, really?
Which is a
What?
VR app, and it's called Holograms Against Humanity, and it's like
Oh,
all
yeah.
the cards and expansions of. I mean, they
Smart.
worked with Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And there's extra stuff that's just for the VR world, just themed
That's cool.
towards that.
I
alt
want
VR.
to go to there.
Dude, you know what I did this weekend? This is completely going off into
This
left
is-
field. I'm super fine with that.
I
but
was there.
I went to VR church.
What?
Yeah.
It
Is
was-
that like Live Church TV
Jeff came with
except
me.
more
I have
technologically
a-
advanced?
I have a picture somewhere of us in VR.
Yeah,
Like we met at Jeff's house first in
Oh,
VR.
wow.
yeah.
And then we went to VR church together. And
It was
then
a-
afterwards we met someone named Charlotte. She was super nice, and she's
She
like,
was.
"Hey, do you want to go to Taco Land?" And we're like, "This is the weirdest after church outing I've
Like
ever been to."
that question only works. That question only works if somebody's asking you it while you're in VR.
Yeah, no, because
If
we
you're
went
in
there.
real life and someone asks you that question, you're like,
Let me just
a
explain
place
to
here
you.
called Taco Land.
Okay, so Taco Land is a land that plays on loop It's Raining Tacos, and it literally is raining tacos. There's a sour cream lake. Jeff and I went swimming
We
in
did
it.
go swimming
We
in
have
the
a
sour cream
selfie
lake.
in sour cream lake, and we jumped off not once but twice the sour cream waterfall.
That out of everything in VR
Oh my
made me the
gosh.
most sick because it was like,
All of a sudden you're moving.
whoomp,
Yeah,
and like your inner ear is like waiting for you to fall as well,
and you're
but
not.
you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, it was-
You were sitting down. I was standing up. So
Dude, that's
it
like
was even weirder.
expectation of continuous free fall. That's amazing.
It was very, very odd. Anyway,
dude,
Wow.
going on,
VR
well, kind of
church.
on the whole VR, but more like internet kind of concept and craziness.
VR internet.
The whole SpaceX issue going on.
whoa, what's going
What?
on now?
Well, so you know how they
speaking of
shot
left field,
several
This is not left field. man.
apparently 60 about 60 satellites into space off of one rocket,
yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
and that is called Starlink. And Starlink is a way
Yes,
of providing internet to remote areas through satellite linkage, and it's a sweet and awesome concept for the fact that like people that live in rural areas don't have access to internet.
Yeah.
I have a picture
so,
just to show during this.
what's really cool about
This
this?
is Elon Musk's company,
Elon Musk.
all in one picture.
Also, guys,
Oh,
just so
yeah.
you know, Rob Rooney, our last guest, he has
Awesome.
one of these
The
flamethrowers.
boring.
I thought you were gonna
He
say a
has
Tesla.
he has not a flamethrower.
He has
Oh.
not a flamethrower. Yeah,
But what I was saying, the
you can pull it off. Of
the
that.
Picture
Starlink.
is fire.
What's cool is or crazy is there's a big issue going on with a lot of not meteorologists, astrophysicists or astrologists.
Yeah,
It
would be
are
astrophysicists.
really
Astronomers?
astronomers. Thank you.
Astronomers.
Yeah,
Astrologists are the
perfect.
ones who look to the stars for answers.
but
Yes,
so are
yes.
astrophysicists, and they're actually
Well,
looking further. But yeah,
Right.
So, but all of these parties are having, all of these parties are having a really difficult time and really frustrated now with Starlink because apparently it's 60 of these satellites that are fairly close together
For
but,
now.
but take a long distance apart, and they're super reflective and highly bright in the moment currently.
Yeah, they are, but they're going to take a few weeks to get to full altitude.
They are gonna
They
take a
were
full
only
weeks.
half the altitude, and they're going to be up about.
But
twice
they're
as
still
far.
concerned with the fact that that's still fairly close in terms of relativity as far as how far these scopes are looking out.
Yes, the one thing
Wow.
that is different, that was different this last week when they launched.
Actually, we
Is-
pulled the link up. I have a link of where you could see the lines.
Yeah. So, when I'm pulling that up here,
Yeah.
so the difference though is that also the solar panels that are on them
Yeah.
are going to be orientated so that they're actually behind the satellite really soon. That's
Right.
the
Well,
final.
that will
the
help a
final
lot.
Place, yes.
But so a lot of these astronomers are like really frustrated because as they take pictures of the night sky because
Yeah,
they're trying to view these
they're
planets,
capturing Starlink.
they're capturing these like super bright Starlink satellites that are filling up the sky with these lines. So Go ahead and take a look at these lines.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
So like
crazy.
as they're looking into deep space, instead they're seeing a bunch
That's
of
just a blurry picture.
They're seeing a bunch of grids basically
That's-
from these lines of these satellites.
Thanks
It's
a lot,
just as-
Elon Musk.
And these are delayed images, or not delayed images, but
long
They have to be
long
time
exposure. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, long exposure. So they're like, man, if we continue to get more of these reflective satellites in low orbit, we're gonna screw ourselves when we're trying to take
Put the
long
satellite-
exposure
get-
pictures.
get
Yeah,
your-
put the satellite in space. Talk
No.
to Elon Musk.
No, get your telescopes off the globe.
I know, I agree with that. Well, that's what the Hubble is, right?
Yeah, put it on the back of the
But
moon.
that's a bit more expensive
The
and
dark side
a
of the
bit more
moon.
owners. But I do
Pink Floyd
agree.
had
The
it right
moon.
a long
I have
time
no
ago.
idea why we haven't put more satellites on the moon, other than the fact that it probably
Satellites
costs.
on the moon. That's
or
not a satellite anymore.
scopes,
Telescopes.
telescopes to be exact.
Yeah.
How many space telescopes do we have now?
Quite a few. The one that took the
Yeah.
black hole picture, there were 8 different ones doing
Wow.
that.
And then there's like an amalgamated image that they all just like layered together.
Yeah, they all time-stamped, and it basically
Sick.
created a telescope that was as big as the globe. But it was each telescope, get this, when it was taking the video imagery, was 64 gigs per second.
Oh wow.
Yep. It was too big to transfer over the internet.
I was worried where you're going to go with that.
Well,
The-
it was just too big.
Too big to fit.
It's too big.
Yeah, so even one of them's in Antarctica, and they had to they flew them from there, but they had to wait for the weather to get better to get it back. That picture was actually taken in 2017.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
It
pretty.
took that long to travel this close.
Well, it took that
to
long
travel.
to get for the seasons to turn, so they could get all of it here, and then it took that long to process the data because it was 4.5 petabytes.
Yeah, so tons and tons
Wow.
of hard drives
Yeah.
that they couldn't transfer over
So
the
it's-
internet. They had to fly.
It
Which
was
is
so much
crazy.
data. The hard drives actually weighed 1,500 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
That's such
For
a
that
cool
blurry, gross, dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Now,
black.
now, granted,
black
that was
hole.
just for that
Yeah.
one, and there actually is a black hole that's closer that they took pictures of. They haven't shown us yet. So
Hmm.
See if
But
there's any incentive for quantum computing to become a standard, maybe this might be.
yeah, but quantum computing handles other things. Quantum
Yeah,
computing
sure.
handles statistics and probability,
Probability.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, of
so
course.
it's not as great at the straightforward ones.
Well,
as
and
the-
it's not even for storage.
I guess
Quantum
no,
computing
no,
won't
yeah,
even
it's
hold
not for storage. It's for
Yeah.
it's for
Yet.
it's
Yeah.
Yet.
it's more for probability and prediction, and then also for at distance, not necessarily at distance when you have things that are quantum entangled, so that something will give the same answer on the other side of the universe that it does here.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know a ton about quantum computing. Just I always had this vision of quantum computing being like a new revolutionary standard in computing that would once fully developed replace binary computing.
No, it would be in
Since it would-
conjunction with and help it, kind of like a graphics card does.
Oh,
now.
I see.
Basically, it would eliminate some of the processing need, I think, of standard computers.
For
Oh,
things that are
yeah.
like statistical data and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which or like really good at cryptography, so good so that it like would break what we have now. That's the problem. So like
Right.
Bitcoin never been hacked except for like on an exchange, which is not the same thing, but that could actually pose a
Right.
problem
Yeah.
for things that are encrypted like that. So
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
It's
could you
trip.
imagine? Oh
It's
man.
trip. Basically, quantum computers are going to be needed to break quantum codes or quantum.
yeah, the first people
Yeah.
to get to that, that's gonna start.
Well, that's
a
how
war.
there's a race with technology. As
It's
far
like
as
the
quantum
race to the
goes.
moon. It's silently happening for a race to quantum computing to stabilize it. Because right now you can't. Like, you can't stabilize the.
Dude. Speaking
they've
of
gotten really good at it, but
speaking of a race to space, we're talking about we needed to have a podcast about space. It's like it's so
Here we
hard
go.
for us to not go into the
The
subject.
future is now.
This is all we want to talk about.
we'll talk about space.
We're
again.
like little kids that wanted to be an astronaut when we grew up.
We all wanted to be
Yeah.
astronauts.
dude, I still would. I would still do it.
I would have to have some pretty like advanced technology to want to,
Well, yeah,
because I'd want to be able to come back.
Yeah. I want to talk about it.
I'm good with just being in space. I
need
think.
bragging rights.
Yeah,
Like it's like you wouldn't like go somewhere cool to never come back and tell people
but
about it.
Mars has enough ice
Dude, that water they discovered.
Yep.
to cover the planet in
Oof.
1.5 meters of water.
Which is crazy.
Our planet or their planet?
No, Mars has enough ice caps.
That's not as impressive.
What's
But
a
the entire
what's a
planet in
meter?
a
I'm
meter
just
and a half.
kidding.
A meter's 3 feet.
I'm kidding.
So,
I know.
oh, okay. So,
I was being American here.
oh, okay. Gotcha.
What's a meter?
A meter is like a tempo
It's
in
something you
music.
use. Yeah.
You used
like-
to keep a beat.
Yeah,
a constant.
weren't we just talking about this? Like, yeah, like
What?
Yeah. It's hilarious.
That's good.
it's like a metronome. Like,
I love hate.
Wouldn't it be a
metronomes.
meter gnome?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, no. So a meter is a European version of a metronome.
Oh, mind blew.
Yeah, that's not true at all, folks. Like, don't listen.
We
to
trolling
me.
y'all right
Yeah.
now.
We're talking about the trolls that protect the meters, the gnomes,
Ooh, yeah, the gnomes.
The metro gnomes.
the metro gnomes.
Oh
It's
my
the
gosh!
gnomes
If
that
that
live in
has,
Oh
wait,
Portland.
I want
my-
to see if that exists. A metro gnome.
A metro gnome. Yeah, it looks
All
like
right,
he's from
man.
Portland. he's dressed in plaid and has a beard, but never knows how to like do
That's
anything in the
hilarious.
country. Like he would die in the forest in 5
I
seconds.
feel like
like it's a metro gnome is a
He's
gnome that doesn't do well outside.
He's
like,
lumber-
it
he's
only
lumber-
can live indoors.
He's lumbersexual.
Yeah.
He's lumbersexual.
I'm honestly like shocked that there hasn't been already a cartoon about a metro.
Okay.
gnome.
Yeah.
That, like, is really good at
We're
keeping
trademarking this right now.
Right now,
It's patented.
yes.
The metro gnome. It's from
Oh
Portland.
my gosh, how would not
Oh, man.
come out with a cartoon
Well.
about this?
That should be that'd be like a quick cutaway on Family Guy.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah.
It's like the
Can-
rock
can you
I
just-
guarantee if we sent that in, that would be like they
Oh,
would take
done.
that.
Yeah, they've probably already done it. We just don't watch Family Guy.
It'd be like, okay, this is what I envision happening. Stewie would be learning to play the piano, and Lois would be like, okay, Stewie, you have to follow the metronome, and he's like, a metronome, and then all of a sudden in his head it goes to Bubbles, and he thinks about this little gnome that's dressed up as in fancy
I can't
metro.
go
And he's Metro.
I can't
Yeah,
go
and he's
outside.
metro.
It's
That's
cold
so
out
good.
there.
Yeah.
I'll get my beard wet.
A metronome. Oh, that's genius. That's genius. I love
Ooh,
it.
we just wrote a show of Family Guy.
Oh my
That's-
gosh.
Oh.
Seth MacFarlane, hit us up.
Yeah.
He doesn't write Family Guy anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He's too
but
busy
he's
with
still in charge of
things
what's
going on.
what's
The
his
Orville.
space
Orville.
movie? Yeah, Space Show Orville. I've watched that actually. I enjoy it.
It's a great
I really
show.
Enjoy
I enjoy
too.
it. It's it's cheesy, but it's like it's expected to be.
I feel like because and I identify with this. I can relate. Like it's not revolutionary really, but it's for people who are as much of Star Trek or as much of Trekkies as he ostensibly is. And I'm there, and I've watched the whole first season of the Orville, and I'm like, oh man, okay, this is fun. This is a fun romp through space sci-fi, like classic old school style.
I feel like
You know.
Fox kind of did Seth they kind of done dirty a little bit when they advertised it, because they were like, it's like Family Guy in space, but it's not.
Gosh.
It's
What show is
Right.
this? What-
It's a
on
little
Fox?
bit more
Orville.
serious.
the Orville. It's I would say it is,
But it's live, isn't it? Like live action.
It is live action.
Yeah, it's not a cartoon at all.
It's like
Okay.
75% Star Trek Next Generation and 25% Family Guy.
and that's just because
Yeah, and that's-
some of the like the tone of it.
Yeah, just Seth being an actor in it. I would say more like Ted than Family Guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, because
Ted.
Ted's a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
The first
But
one.
Ted is also a little bit more brash
Yes.
and a little bit
Yeah.
more like less conservative.
Yes.
You know,
than
whereas
Family Guy.
yeah.
Of
Yeah,
all
and
things,
so
yeah.
I don't feel like the Orville is very conservative in relative to
in not
Ted
as
and Family Guy.
in politic or any of those
Do you
kind
feel
of
like
things.
it might
more
be
Right.
because he's like
Obviously not.
has to show it? His face is in it, right? Like
Yeah.
he's in
It
it.
is him, yeah.
Yeah, he's the captain.
So do you think that he's like a little more reserved because it's not hidden behind animation?
I honestly think it's because it's a Star Trek fan.
Oh.
Well, and it's because
Yeah.
it's a Fox. It's not FX. It's Fox. It's like a family friendly show, kind of trying to make it a little bit more. I think
I was
too.
actually thinking exactly that a second ago.
They
It's
definitely
pretty family friendly.
They talk a lot about issues like current day issues.
right.
Oh,
So like
okay.
there's a whole episode. It's kind of like if Black Mirror had to be on regular television.
That's
So
Yeah.
like there's an episode where the whole
I like that
race
show.
that they are going and like visiting live based on upvotes or downvotes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so you
Yes.
can't
That was a
go
good episode.
shopping.
Creepy episode. That's what it was.
That's not.
Yeah.
I'm not talking Black Mirror. I'm talking
That's Orville.
Orville. Yeah.
Oh.
So they kind of did the same thing.
That's like
Um,
Doctor Who when everyone like had an emoji on their back, they couldn't see it, and if they got sad, they got killed.
Oh no.
Which season was that in?
Last I think.
Was that a Jodie Whittaker one?
No, No. It was the good guy.
The good guy.
The guy that played guitar and had the glasses instead.
Oh, the last Peter Capaldi one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
not
I
the female.
haven't seen the last few episodes of the final Peter Capaldi season, but I've seen
I don't
most
know
of
if
them.
I think it was like close to the beginning, but there was like a planet where they go there and like everyone's gone. And they get there and there's a robot and he like hands them a button and they're like, what the? And they go to put it on. It goes zoop to their back, and it shows their current emotion in an emoticon. And if they get sad, they get killed.
That's got to be a latter episode.
It's because the robots are like, spoiler alert, but the robots are in charge of keeping the humans happy. And if they can't, then they're failing.
Did you guys?
So they kill them.
Fair enough.
Did you guys watch this latest season of Doctor Who?
No.
Not yet.
I've watched-
I've watched some of it.
So I'm
not a fan.
Really wanted there to be a strong female doctor, and I don't think it's her in particular, but I maybe just the writing or the storylines, but I cannot get into it.
I don't
really,
like it. My
really
kids don't either, and my
There's like-
kids loved it before, and they're like,
Yeah, it's
they
like,
wanted to give it a chance. They're like,
it's like eating food with no taste.
I still want.
There's
I still
another
wanna
thing
see
you've
it.
compared that to.
Yes, there is.
Wearing a sock.
I still want to see it. Like she's been a lot of people throwing shade at Jodie Whittaker's season of Doctor Who, and
I don't know that it's her fault.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's
Yeah.
her fault, but it's truly like it's really hard for me to get into it.
I think part of it was, and I'll be the mean one and go on here and say, I think it was a political move to make it a woman.
Right, I feel like they forced it because it was like
And
the
it was like,
trendy thing
what
to
the?
do.
If they had done the opposite of that, everyone would have been up in arms.
Yeah, if they would have done Amy, if they would have made Amy the Doctor,
I would have watched that. I actually
would've
would
soaked
not
that
have been
up.
upset about that. That would have been
Soaked that up.
super cool.
And Amy threw some like
Or the blonde
Amy's
chick.
last
What was
name?
her name?
Amy's
the,
last name? What was Amy's last name?
The one that got stuck in the other dimension.
yeah, Rose.
Yeah, they brought her back and she was one or
Dude,
something.
The bad
Yeah, that
wolf
would be
as the
amazing.
Doctor. I mean, that would have been badass.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of female characters they could have done that would have brought a huge
Space
fan
took us in a
audience with them.
weird direction here, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
Well, see, the thing about it is, though, I mean, a male doctor for 50 years, and then, I mean, why not throw a female one in there? I don't really think it was
But they
overtly a
did.
political decision.
they did throw a female Time Lord in. They didn't say that there weren't females. It was just focused around this one.
Yeah.
And so they did have female Time Lords. So it wasn't like a sexist thing toward Time Lords.
Yeah. No, that's true. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the
and
other
she
Time
was
Lord.
creepy.
there was an
she's
old
actually one of
grandma.
my,
There was like
was
she's
awesome.
actually one of my favorite characters on
Yeah,
there.
she was
is
great.
wasn't she like an old grandma or something? like that?
Bananas. That's what I
Nah.
loved about her.
No, there was
Sort of.
there was an old grandma Time Lord too. I can't remember which episode, but then there was the mean
How does that work if they
evil
don't
one.
age? Like, I don't... Like,
She just looked like an old body, I
Oh,
guess.
okay.
Even
Yeah.
though, yeah, right.
I just want his badge.
I know.
So I'd be like, no, it's okay. I'm supposed to be
Golly,
here.
I would love that bad.
The psychic paper.
Yeah, the psychic
love the
paper. Like, what an idea.
One-
The ideas they come up with and then just throw away after an episode.
One of
I'm
the
like,
things,
"Aw."
one of the things I was bummed out about the Peter Capaldi seasons was like at first I had a hard time getting into Peter Capaldi because I really loved Matt Smith and David Tennant. You
It's
know,
always tough.
but I mean at first like it was Peter. He was an old guy, you know, whatever. But he was a great actor. I like what he's done, and I love that they had Maisie Williams in there as the girl who lived forever, basically.
Right.
She was awesome. But
They were that season to me was so epically creative.
Yeah.
The way that they jumped around and like brought it all together. The whole time when he got stuck in the time capsule thing
yeah,
for like billions of years, I was like, this is genius writing right here.
yeah,
Like if somebody wanted to like go and just like watch a little bit of it just to see what it's about, that 2 episodes, those 2 specials that were tied together, don't really need a lot of the. Would you agree? Like, don't need a lot of the other context of the show to understand kind of what's going on.
I actually don't remember that particular
It's where
story arc.
He kept getting killed
Oh wait.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
in the castle.
Yeah, was that the one where he's breaking through the ice?
Yes.
Or like he's I don't know
Over
if it's ice
time,
or
he
crystal
just-
or something like that.
And it's like he's so persistent over billions.
that was a
of years.
really good episode.
Okay, I haven't seen
You
that
need to go
one.
back and watch that.
Is that-
It is by far my favorite 2 episodes.
It was with
that they've ever
Sam or
done.
Smith, right? Smith was the last name of
I don't know. It is
the Doctor Who.
dude. It will blow your mind.
Are you talking about the Peter Capaldi?
No,
Yeah.
what's Peter Capaldi? Is that the name of the Doctor?
the
that
old
was
guy, right?
The old guy was
Right
Peter-
after this lady that's now.
or right
What?
before.
Okay,
Or right before.
now I don't.
Right before, sorry.
Right before, yeah, that was Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, that's him.
A Scotsman.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a Scottish guy.
Yes, him. I'll find what the names of them are. I'll send them to you because they're amazing.
Okay. So, yes, I've seen most. I think I've seen most of.
But those
Peter
2
Capaldi
episodes,
stuff.
I would go rewatch them again. They're so good.
One thing that I had a hard time with, and it wasn't. This might be revealing some of the reactionary in me that is deep inside, But I didn't like how he got rid of the sonic screwdriver. The Doctor has the sonic screwdriver. You don't get rid of the freaking sonic screwdriver.
To some extent, he did get it back, and
What,
it was
wasn't
really,
he
it was a
using
really
glasses?
cool remodel. It was the glasses, and
Right.
everyone thought that was dumb.
And
but I do think
was
it was like
kinda cool.
he played the character well of being lost without it.
Yeah.
And that was the whole idea. Once he got it back, I was semi okay with it. I was afraid they were never going to bring it back, but when they did, the redesign was pretty sweet.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
The new sonic screwdriver.
Yes.
Looked pretty
It's pretty rad.
Yeah, man. Now I want to go watch some fucking Doctor Who.
Do
You
it.
should, man. You
Man, I'm gonna
Do
start.
it.
I'm gonna start it over again with Eccleston.
should. Yeah, that long special though, the 2-parter of him stuck in the time.
It was
it's
was actually a phenomenal.
what is it?
Episode.
The time something or other. I can't remember what it's called.
It was like a.
It kind of looks like Doctor Strange's time thingy that he wears on him.
Oh yeah.
No, what
The
weren't
time
they,
dial. The time dial. That's what it is.
Time
He's
dial.
stuck in it.
But weren't they? What was it? The name of the robots that are like
The Cybermen.
No, not
The
the Cyber-
Daleks.
The Daleks. I think
Yeah.
the Daleks were involved in it too.
Probably.
Um,
They're involved in everything.
Yeah.
yeah,
Except for
it
this
was
season.
So good.
They're gone.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't even have the Jodie Whittaker doesn't have to deal with the Daleks.
Nope.
No, it's
No,
really
no toilet
unfortunate.
plunger robots.
That's weird.
It is weird.
It is weird.
Does she have to deal with any of the classic
She
villains?
doesn't,
or
it doesn't seem like they're
anything?
throwing anything tough at her. That's the problem, I think. I don't know.
Well,
That's just weird, dude. I don't know.
That sounds more like bad writing.
It is
it
bad
does
writing.
sound. That's exactly what.
Okay,
it is.
I think it was bad writing combined with a political move, and they shouldn't. They just kind of wrecked it.
All right, if that's the case, they need to bring it next. They need to bring back Moffat, Stephen Moffat. They need to bring him back.
I'm so
right.
bad with names. I don't remember which one it was.
He's one of the writers. So there was Davies. I can't remember his first something A. Davies, Richard A. Davies, or something like that. He was a writer of most of David Tennant's time on the show, and then it was
Ooh.
Stephen Moffat.
So I did just
for
watch
Matt Smith.
the whole series. I kind of
Uh-oh.
like before going to bed. I kind of binge watched
The entire series.
the first season of
He's getting to it.
The Omen
The Omen.
Ooh.
Okay.
on Amazon. So I listened to the book on audio
Okay.
Wait,
audio
I
digest
just saw an
or audio
ad
book.
for this.
are you talking about Good Omens with David Tennant?
Yes.
John Hamm's in it.
Yeah. I listened to the audiobook first, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But it was an enjoyable, and the cast was really enjoyable too. Yeah,
I wanna see
David
that.
Tennant and had another pretty famous actor. I can't remember his name. English dude.
He was the guy that played Wesley Snipes on that's quote unquote Wesley Snipes on that short story arc of 30 Rock.
Oh, really?
The English guy who Liz ran into at the dentist office.
Yeah.
And they kept running into each other.
Yeah.
And they just kind of kept trying to make a relationship work, but there was literally nothing that would draw them together except that they kept running into each other. It was that
That's
that
all they
actor.
had in common.
That sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
It was
Sounds
that
like
actor.
real life.
That actor is in the show too.
Okay.
I can't remember his name right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, he was also in Passenger. The Passenger is the one with Chris Pratt and
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence. He was the bartender.
Yeah, he was a bartender.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's
I
fun.
really
He's fun.
like that guy.
I like him a lot.
I like the idea of that.
Jeff's
movie,
over
too.
here like I have no idea what to say. I've never seen any of this shit.
Well, I haven't seen. I after the Orville, then it was kind of like I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
That's funny. We haven't we're like, ooh.
Finally,
it's all good.
something you haven't seen.
Yeah,
this is
seriously.
actually that's true.
I have seen a lot of stuff.
That is, yeah. The Jeff will be like, "Hey, have you seen?" I'm like, "No, I have not." Have you seen this? Yeah, no.
We
I
actually
have
had a
not,
rule. Another friend and I had a rule that if it was made prior to 2008, I had not seen it.
It's
but
true.
Everything after 2008,
Very
I
true.
have seen. It's not as true anymore because I'm slowly going back and watching stuff.
Yeah.
Like last night, I watched The Highlander.
Oh wow!
In fact, I fell
The entire series?
no,
like
just the movie.
Okay.
Oh,
I was like, man.
Christopher
that's-
Lambert.
Yeah, no, just like
Hey,
sat
your
down
cousin.
and
Yeah.
binged it out.
Sure, my
No,
cousin.
the with what's his face? Sean Connery, the movie.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
R.I.P.
Yeah. So I watched a little bit of that one. So it's less true that I haven't seen anything before 2008.
So I think that I'm trying to liken this because I really wanted to tell this story of this article I read today.
Mm-hmm.
But like movie,
Segue.
like getting like videos, getting movies, getting music, like it's so like it's almost chance, like that even if you have the best talent and you don't get noticed, like you're not gonna go anywhere, like for lack of a less harsh term.
Yeah.
But this guy walks into a museum I think it was this last week.
Gosh.
And they had an old safe from an old hotel that had been like donated to them, and it was like part of history and everything's really old and all that kind of stuff. And they put it in the museum. They actually like it was so heavy that they lifted it into the basement. And this guy and his kid, they were on this tour and everything, and you could actually touch it. Or it was something in the museum that you could do it, but no one. They had talked to tons of like safe people and everything. They could not get into it. And so this guy, like, he was an engineer, and he's like, oh, I'll give it a shot. And tons of people had given this thing a shot over like a lot of years. Like I think like 100 years this thing had not been opened.
Wow.
And he like steps up to it and he's like,
Is that the time safe?
no.
No, okay,
No.
sorry.
It's just like it's like a big safe, heavy and everything, but like these locksmiths had said like it's got to be seized because they had walked everyone through it, everything that they knew how to do. They're like, the springs just aren't falling anymore. It's sat for too long, whatever. So this guy, this engineer, like puts his ear up to it and he's like, click, 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 clunk. First try.
Wow.
What was
So
it?
they open it up and it's like one is like a pay stub. Like like a random pay stub, and then I can't remember, there was something else. It was
So
both like completely
disappointing.
worthless, but it was like most of the person's pay stub was like was being paid, but then like part of the money was being taken out for food, and it was like $46, and they're only getting paid like $9
Wow.
in their paycheckers. It was like room and board was taken out, and they got $9.
Sounds like some
so
company
disappointing.
store type stuff.
But they
Must have
left
been
it
a
open and they
mine
propped it.
worker.
They're like, we're not going to let this thing shut again because everyone said it was not going to come open without like cutting it or anything like that. And this guy's just like, click, 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 click. And it was like a super simple, it was like 20 forward, back to 30, forward to 40,
One
clunk.
of those things.
Just first try.
Awesome.
Oh, it was amazing. Like, I was like, that's kind of like the same, almost the same. Like,
That kind of chance.
I'm going to like that chance of like, I'm going to get recognized by the right people and it's going to catch on just the right way.
So random.
Like, yeah, just, I don't know. I
It
found
is very, very
hilarious
random.
It is random, and it's random. It's like this kind of sucks. Like, why is this popular? Like,
I think a lot of success in the modern culture. I think it has. I would suggest that it probably is not just the modern culture, is repeated excellence, and so not just like doing something good once, but being able to replicate your excellence, and so
yeah,
and very rarely are there things that are like, oh man, that one thing was phenomenal. Like we recognize Christopher Nolan as a great great director, not because he did Memento. I mean, that's a great movie.
although I would recognize him for that.
But you could
forgot that he did that
also
movie.
you could compare then other people who are now known as bad directors or bad writers because they have a history of
Shitty stuff.
Yeah, shitty stuff.
like Ed Wood.
Well, like the current controversy is all about the directors for Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Like that's just blowing up my Reddit feed left and right.
Because everybody's pissed off about the finale.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
just
Well, not the
That's
finale.
Did you guys
dumb.
did you guys sign the petition?
No.
To have him rewrite season?
no.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just kidding.
I guess my thought is
I haven't watched any of it.
That was a fantastic season, and I liked the finale.
that is I don't
It was
I
a
haven't
little
seen
disappointing, but
Yeah.
I still
That's a
like it.
controversial opinion, though. Apparently,
Yeah, I know.
So
I haven't
speaking of-
seen Game of Thrones as the new I'm vegan, and I'm vegan.
Yeah, that is funny.
What?
So the term basically saying like if you're instead of saying like I'm vegan, like it's equivalent to saying I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Hey, everybody! This guy doesn't watch Game of Thrones. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Zero people.
Speaking of
Just like being a vegan.
repeated excellence, I think we're almost going to get to shower thoughts here.
Yeah.
After this, we could do that if you guys want. But there's this movie coming out called Yesterday, and
Did it come out yesterday?
I don't think it did yesterday.
About Paul McCartney?
Maybe tomorrow.
Eventually.
Yes, it's close to it.
Nice.
But the movie is basically it's about the Beatles.
Nice.
And it's not about the Beatles, but it's about their songs.
Okay.
And so it takes place in this world where this guy, he wakes up and he's going to meet his friends for breakfast, and he's singing a Beatles song while they're sitting at the table. And they're like, oh, that's a great song. What is that? And he's like, oh, it's one of the Beatles songs. And they're like,
who?
A bug wrote that song? And
A
he's like,
car?
no, the band, the most famous band ever, sang that song. And they're like,
I think I know where this is
what
going.
band? And basically he's like, you guys haven't heard of the Beatles? And he's like, they're like, no.
Because the
What are you talking
Beatles never existed in this world.
And in this world,
but
somehow
he knows.
of the Beatles. And so it goes from
It's like
zero
Bernstein.
to 100 with him singing these songs, and everybody's like, dude, you need to play this for my producer buddy. And then he goes from like singing to producer to getting on the radio to becoming like, playing in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And then like he goes on to this late night program, like a talk show, and they're like, hey, could you like, if you're really like, if you're doing this, can you actually like just come up with a song right now? And he's like, I mean, I could try. And so he just sings a Beatles song that he hasn't played yet. And he like busts it out. But that movie looks hilarious. It looks really fun.
That looks good.
Is that a comedy?
It looks like a comedy / rom-com kind of
Okay.
thing.
I went to
Yeah.
the
I would totally
Beatles
watch that.
Vegas show.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
the Cirque du
Beatles-
Soleil Beatles one?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was
good?
amazing. Like, I haven't been to a lot of Vegas shows, so I can't say like it's. I could say it's the best one I've been to, but I've only been to 2. So, but yeah, it was amazing. Like they like it's kind of a trip down. Like literally, there's a point where it's like trying to make it look like an acid trip, and they do a really good job of
Awesome.
like floating in the clouds, and like the crowd is a part of it, and it's.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It is. I would highly recommend it.
Is it like a sort of chronological? So
Yeah.
like 2/3 of the way through the show, they're in Magical Mystery Tour and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they're like,
it just like follows the kind of like it's with their music, just like, and then the visuals of at one point, like the coolest part is like an actual beetle comes out, and you're like, that looks really weird, like but it's like moving, and you're like, what is going on? And all of a sudden it just blows apart, and it's every body panel, axle, and everything is being held by a person.
Wow.
And the whole car blows apart and then comes back together, and then they like walk as the car is one.
That's pretty sweet.
It's so cool.
It's phenomenal. Like
So I was looking at our shower thoughts, and I think you and I have some of the same shower
We do.
thoughts. A lot of our shower thoughts, guys, we get from Reddit and from some random place, and sometimes we think about random shower thoughts ourselves too. But
I have a random thought before shower thoughts. It's actually not one.
okay, and I have one too.
You do?
Yeah,
Oh, you do? Yeah.
yeah, my tough one.
Oh shoot, where'd it go? You tell yours first.
Okay.
'cause I gotta find mine.
So I was thinking about sand, and I was thinking about deserts and ocean sand, and I was thinking about like, okay, does desert sand come from an ocean? Like, was there an ocean there at one time, and then that's where the
Yes.
sand came from? But then I was thinking about actually the sand in the desert is like way different than the sand in the ocean. So I went on Google and I researched it a little bit, and basically what's
so now you're
happening
an
is,
expert.
well, I would like to. I'd like to. I mean, I would like to say that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So basically,
Probably more than most people.
the difference between desert sand and ocean sand is desert sand is made more from wind, and it makes each grain really smooth. And ocean sand is made by water and makes each grain rough. And the rough sand can stick together easier, and that's why it's so much better for building, like sand castles and for other things. Whereas like desert sand, it's just like
It is like dust.
just.
That makes
Yeah.
so much. So
But I was like, I learned so much about sand I never thought about.
I thought it was just because like Thanos visited there more often.
Right? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hawaii, Oahu, the island of Oahu, the sand on the different sides of the island is actually different. And so on the north shore, that's where the water is like really deep and then really shallow, and the sand is really coarse and like pebbles.
Yeah.
But then on the east side, which is called the windward side, it's super fine grained. So that's like
So cool.
exactly
that
what
makes
you're talking
sense.
about.
So
like,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What do you got, Jordan? What's yours?
So mine is kind of it's a bad dad joke. Like it actually
Awesome.
is labeled as that. But if Elon Musk has personal bodyguards and hasn't named them Musketeers, he's missed a very golden opportunity.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Basically, he should give up if he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, no kidding. He's not going to make it.
He's failed if he hasn't.
If he hasn't seen that yet.
That's hilarious. So in 300 years, as humanity colonizes,
Are we into shower thoughts now?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Did you have one you want to do before that?
That was it.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
I you know what? It's our show.
Yep.
We could jump into that.
So in 300 years, as humanity colonizes other planets, there could still be actual humans living in primitive tribes in jungles that have no idea what the rest of us are doing. Like, we still could have in 300 years people living, because we do like off of India right now. We have that
could be
island.
doing that right now.
So we could literally have people colonizing other planets, and there's people still living in jungles and have no idea about
For sure.
anything. Like that's a
That
crazy
is very
that's a crazy dichotomy right there.
Well, yeah, that's a really interesting part about living in a big world. I remember there was an episode of Game of Thrones that was like, because that's totally real.
Game of Thrones
is.
Yeah,
It
no,
seems-
but there was an episode of Game of Thrones where I don't remember who it was talking. It sounds like something Tyrion would have said, but anyway, whoever it was saying, there are people far away that have no idea or don't have no idea that we have a war going on.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. It's so weird.
That is weird.
Yes.
It's a good shower thought.
Weird.
It's crazy thought.
Along those lines,
Yeah, what
let's
you
just
got?
keep this space thing going
Love
for a
it.
second longer. In the future, if we do expand to other planets, some conspiracy theorists will be convinced that Earth is not real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the plot of what you call it, Battlestar Galactica.
That is. Which the end of Battlestar Galactica was super confusing to me.
He still hasn't seen
I
the
know
end
the
of Battlestar
I know the
Galactica.
end of
Okay.
Battlestar Galactica. I just haven't
Do you
seen
guys
it.
want to know a little secret?
What?
I have seen maybe the first 30 minutes of any of Battlestar Galactica,
The
Really?
original?
and I passed out in that 30 minutes.
Okay, so
I'll race you through it. I was
I
going to start
can't,
it over again.
like, no.
okay, so that I was introduced to Battlestar Galactica and Firefly in
the
the
same-
in the same weekend, Christmas of 2006.
Whoa.
That's a year?
2006,
Same
yeah,
weekend.
that's a year. And Christmas of 2006. It was my girlfriend and her family. My girlfriend at the time and her family. Her brother was there, and he was like, "Oh man, you guys are going to watch Battlestar Galactica." They were in the like second season or something at that point, and so we started watching the pilot episode, which is like a pilot miniseries.
Right. That's why I fell asleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, none of us were really interested in it because it was so slow moving. Now,
Very slow.
I'm okay with slow moving usually, but we were just having social time, and
Yeah.
then he was trying to introduce us to
That's
this
tough.
this thing with a lot of backstory. Excuse me. And then he's like half hour into it. He's seeing that nobody's really watching it or cares, and so he's like, "Okay, so there's this other show, Firefly. I know that a lot of you have heard of it,
Let's just stick in the same genre.
great show.
and
It's a great
I had
show.
never seen it at that point. So we saw the pilot to that, and we're all glued to the television at that point. We're watching that, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
That show moves a lot quicker right away.
Well,
Fox.
and so-
what the Fox did you do? Not
Right?
you, Fox.
Right.
No, other Fox. What the Fox did they
Fox.
do?
Was it Frack?
Frack,
was
Yeah,
that?
Frack Fox.
Frack Fox. Well, okay, Battlestar Galactica, the show though, was on.
Which one said Frack, though?
That was Battlestar
Battlestar
Galactica.
ESG.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Firefly was the one that cussed in Chinese.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So that's how
funny.
they were able to get around the censors and they wrote that right into the show's universe. The storyline is the alliance was between basically the descendants
that's
of the
funny.
U.S. Empire, the American Empire, and like the Chinese Empire.
That's good.
And they fused the cultures, so
That's
everybody
probably
spoke
actually
Mandarin
fairly
and
accurate to the future.
Very
Yeah,
accurate.
exactly.
That's a little scary.
But eventually, like several years later, I was introduced to Battlestar Galactica, and that time I was like, okay, this is good stuff right here.
Yeah,
so give it another chance. I
want to give it another chance.
Yeah,
I actually was thinking about it as I make the picture for this, but go for your next share thought.
I think it's on Amazon Prime right now.
Thinking about this as far as time and space and stuff, thousands of years from now, archaeologists are going to be super confused about what fidget spinners were used for.
Or swimming pools.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
They thought it was. They probably think swimming pools were personal reservoirs for the rich.
Maybe
for drinking water and
or some type
water.
of storage unit. Yeah.
Not for pleasure.
Recreation. That kind of question always makes me wonder, like, what stuff we've gotten wrong about previous cultures.
True.
Like,
right. Totally.
Yeah.
So
totally.
true.
Like, that was just a sex toy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they going to think dildos
Right.
are in the future?
Well,
Right.
they'll probably
I don't know.
think that we worship penises.
Those look a little more real. Like
Might deteriorate.
like I know what this is.
That's more
It
anatomical.
depends on how we evolve. I mean,
That's
I
true.
mean, most cultures over time have kind of worshipped the phallic symbol.
That's true. They're like
the obelisk.
They have all these worship things around.
Yeah.
So here's the next one. If your car has made it to 240,000 miles, then it has traveled far enough to reach the moon.
I love it.
That's good. I like that.
Good. I got next one. When someone says "bless you," you really never know what entity you're being blessed by.
Dude,
Like what? Who?
Cthulhu.
so Dane Cook had an awesome bit,
Oh yeah.
probably
that was
from
good.
someone else, that he just said, "I never say bless you. I always say God bless you because I am not the Lord."
And then that whole story that I remember that bit. That whole story that he told where he encountered the atheist, and the atheist was telling,
Yes.
I believe that I will turn into a beautiful tree after I die. And then he was like, yeah, well, it would be so funny if he got chopped down and they printed the Bible on him. Chopped down and turned into the paper, and they took the Bible on him.
Oh.
I don't like Dane Cook
Here's
anymore, but that was funny.
Here's a good one, and I picked this one specifically for Smith Foxe, best friend. From the cat's perspective, the human outside is dead and alive at the same time and cannot be known until the box is opened.
I like that.
I feel like my cat's like that whenever I leave the house.
Right, exactly.
Like
but it's like the reverse of Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's
like,
human.
Schrodinger's human is what
Yeah,
it is.
dude.
And
like,
but they're not like worried about you. They more just hate you for dying
yeah.
and not coming back.
Oh man. I don't really have any other ones. I have one more, but I don't know if I'm gonna say it.
I don't think you should say that.
Okay. I think that's all I have for shared thoughts. You
So
can
here's one last one. We tend, I picked this one specifically for Jeff.
Thanks.
We tend to take for granted how impressive that cameras really are. You're literally freezing a moment in time, and it will never change, nor will it ever be the person. Nor will you ever be the person in that photo ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's deep.
That's deep.
Yep.
Isn't that weird?
It is cool.
Digital cameras,
I'm
though,
really depressed now.
in the words of Dimitri Martin, allow you to reminisce immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. It's
Yeah,
us.
remember that back then?
Remember us? Right
We were
over
so
there.
cute.
We were so young.
What happened to us?
I remember.
Did he draw
that
a picture
minute.
of it.
Oh man.
Dang.
Dimitri
Well,
Martin's
guys,
great.
You guys are awesome.
thank you so much for coming
You're
on.
awesome.
We
Thanks for
appreciate it.
inviting us
We're
on.
excited
Thank
to
you so much.
bust out your music.
Do it.
Yeah.
And guys, check out The Earth on Fire.
You guys
Check
got a
out their
button, too.
album
Look at this.
or their single right now. And yeah, you guys get a cool button. And literally, we won't be offended if you don't wear it every day, but like try at least every other day to be wearing these cool buttons. Testing normal.
I
think you gotta do
survived
stickers,
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I won't throw these.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You throw
Yep.
the thing with the sharp
Stickers, of
object on
course,
the
you can
back.
put them on your cars, whatever, your children if you have them.
If
I
your
survived
children
testing
used to put the button on your children, just through the skin, they can't get it off.
Yeah.
Print a
Yeah.
button on him.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, if you feel so inclined, subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all those other random
YouTube, if you want to see us live.
YouTube.
Are you
Yeah.
on Tidal?
No.
No. Tell us what you like, though. Let
They
us know
don't.
what
They
you
don't have
don't
a
like.
podcasting
No,
I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
like
that.
aggregator as far as I know.
Uh-huh.
Spotify does, so that we're on there. But
What?
But yeah, guys, we really appreciate all your input and your communication, and it's super fun for us to be able to have fun guests on, and we appreciate all your donations to be able to pay these guests to come on.
yeah,
And
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
and yeah, guys,
go listen to their music and
check 'em out.
look
Earth
for
on Fire.
the music video that's dropping on the 7th.
super excited about that.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, love y'all. Peace.
See you.
See you later.
Peace out, Girl Scout.